Marion Mack was an American film actress and screenwriter. Mack is best known for co-starring with Buster Keaton in the 1926 silent comedy film The General. After retiring from acting in 1928, she wrote several short screenplays and took up a career in real estate. Mack was born Joey Marion McCreary in Mammoth, Utah. After graduating from high school, she sent a letter and a photograph to director Mack Sennett, expressing her desire to be an actress. Wolfgang Neuss was a German actor and cabaret artist. Wolfgang Neuss and Wolfgang Müller a 1922–1960, were a popular double act. Beginning in the mid-1960s, Neuss also became famous for his political engagement, first for the SPD, then for the Extra-Parliamentary Opposition, APO. He died in 1989 from a long-time cancer. At the age of 15 he went to Berlin to become a clown, but was dismissed. When Germany entered into the Second World War, Neuss was drafted. Phineas Newborn Jr. was an American jazz pianist whose principal influences were Art Tatum, Oscar Peterson, and Bud Powell. Newborn was born in Whiteville, Tennessee, and came from a musical family. His father, Phineas Newborn Sr., was a drummer in blues bands, and his younger brother, Calvin, a jazz guitarist. He studied piano, as well as trumpet, and tenor and baritone saxophone. William Squire was a Welsh actor of stage, film and television. As a stage actor, Squire performed at Stratford upon Avon and at the Old Vic, and notably replaced his fellow countryman, Richard Burton, as King Arthur in Camelot at the Majestic Theatre on Broadway. One of his first film appearances was in the 1956 film Alexander the Great, which starred Burton in the title role. James Harry Lacey was one of the top-scoring Royal Air Force fighter pilots of the Second World War, and was the second highest-scoring RAF fighter pilot of the Battle of Britain, behind pilot officer Eric Locke of No. 41 Squadron, RAF. Lacey was credited with 28 enemy aircraft destroyed, 5 probables and 9 damaged. Lacey was born on 1 February 1917 in Wetherby, West Yorkshire. He left King James Grammar School, Knaresborough, in 1933, and continued his education at Leeds Technical College. Rudolf Uhlenhaut was a British-German engineer, driving engineer for Mercedes-Benz, and the father of Mercedes-Benz 300 SL and 300 SLR. Uhlenhaut was born in London, the second of 4 children, on 15 July 1906, during his German-born father Max Uhlenhaut's term as head of the London branch of the Deutsche Bank. His mother, Hilda Bryce, was English. He attended the Tollington School in Muswell Hill. At the outbreak of World War I in 1914, the family moved to Brussels and later to Bremen. S.K. Dey was India's first Union Cabinet Minister for Cooperation and Panchyati Raj. Mr. Dey is remembered as the man who pioneered and steered community development in independent India. He firmly believed that democracy cannot be practiced by government servants and stressed that the fruits of democracy ought to reach every village. S.K. Dey was born on 13 September 1906 in Laxmibassa village in Sylhet district in present-day Bangladesh. Mr. Warren Magnuson was an American lawyer and politician who represented the state of Washington in Congress for 44 years, first as a representative from 1937 to 1944, and then as a senator from 1944 to 1981. Magnuson was a member of the Democratic Party. He was Washington State's longest-serving senator, serving over 36 years. During his final 2 years in office, he was the most senior senator and president pro tempore. Warren Magnuson was born in Moorhead, Minnesota. Claude Pepper was an American politician of the Democratic Party. He represented Florida in the United States Senate from 1936 to 1951, and the Miami area in the United States House of Representatives from 1963 until 1989. He was considered a spokesman for left liberalism and the elderly. Born in Chambers County, Alabama, Pepper established a legal practice in Perry, Florida, after graduating from Harvard Law School. Keith Whitley was an American country music singer and songwriter. During his career, he released only 2 albums but charted 12 singles on the Billboard country charts, and 7 more after his death. Born in Ashland, Kentucky, Whitley grew up in nearby Sandy Hook, Kentucky. He began his career there in 1970, performing in Ralph Stanley's band. Establishing himself as a lead singer in bluegrass music, Whitley moved to Nashville in 1983 and began his recording career there. Anton Diffring was a German actor. He had an extensive film and television career in the United Kingdom from the 1940s to the 1980s, latterly appearing in international films. Primarily a character actor, he often played Nazi officers in World War II films and other antagonistic authority figures. Diffring was born Alfred Pollack in Koblenz. His father, Solomon Pollack, was a Jewish shop owner who managed to avoid internment and survived Nazi rule in Germany. His mother, Bertha Pollack, was Christian. Robert Richardson Sears was an American psychologist who specialized in child psychology and the psychology of personality. He was the head of the psychology department at Stanford and later dean of the School of Humanities and Sciences there, continued the long-term IQ studies of Lewis Madison Terman at Stanford, and authored many pivotal papers and books on various aspects of psychology. He was born in Palo Alto, California to Jesse Brundage Sears, a professor at Stanford University, and Stella Louise Sears. Ab DeMarco was a Canadian professional ice hockey player. DeMarco started his National Hockey League career with the Chicago Blackhawks. He would also play with the New York Rangers, Boston Bruins, and Toronto Maple Leafs. He played in the NHL from 1938 to 1947. He played several years in minor professional hockey until 1952, and played on in senior amateur hockey in his hometown of North Bay during the 1950s. Albert was born in North Bay, Ontario. Thoreau MacDonald was a Canadian illustrator, graphic and book designer, and artist. MacDonald was the son of Group of 7 member J.E.H. MacDonald. He was self-taught but had worked on commercial art with his father, who was famous for his work in design. Thoreau MacDonald was colorblind, and as a result he worked primarily in black and white. MacDonald's contribution was mainly to the history of the area of graphic art in Canada and the United States. Munayoshi Tokugawa was appointed as a plenipotentiary for the San Francisco Peace Treaty and participated in its signing. Munayoshi was born on 31 May 1897 in the Mito Tokugawa family's villa in Minami Katsushika District, Tokyo Prefecture. He was the second son of the 12th head of the Mito Tokugawa family, Atsuyoshi Tokugawa. His mother was Tokugawa Soko. His birth name was Takanebu. Tokugawa Shinebu, the last shogun, was his great-uncle,